War is a canvas painted in broad, brutal strokes. We remember the big battles, the turning points, the treaties signed in grand halls. We think we know the story. But what if I told you that nestled within these epic narratives are moments so bizarre, so improbable, they sound like they were ripped from a Hollywood script? Moments where the line between heroism and absurdity, strategy and sheer chaos becomes impossibly thin. These aren't the stories you read in the main chapters of your history textbook. They're the footnotes, the whispered legends, the classified reports that were buried for decades. They're tales of soldiers fighting their own allies in a confused sky, of a tiny company holding off an army of thousands with no support, of spies dressing up as the enemy causing so much paranoia that a top general was held at gunpoint by his own men. They challenge our understanding of what war is, revealing it not as a clean, strategic game of chess, but as a deeply human, messy, and often surreal ordeal. So today we're peeling back the layers of accepted history.
If your tree looks like steel, you're in the trenches of 1916. If a stump shows rivets, it's not nature, it's a lookout. If the leaves are metal, someone's life just saved you a few bullets. At night, engineers cut down a real tree, slipped in a hollow steel replica, and by dawn, a soldier was sitting inside it like a quiet, leafy guard. These camouflaged observation posts fixed enemy artillery coordinates without drawing fire. One tree sentinel watched for 23 days straight, relaying shells and saving lives. When he was finally pulled out, a German shell struck the fake tree, minutes after he left. Brave, bizarre, brilliantly stealthy. War's odd little inventions. One officer versus 42,000. The 3-day stand. If you don't like hopeless situations but still admire courage, then listen to this. September 1939. Poland is invaded. On a single hill, Captain Reginus and 720 men, 42,000 Germans, 400 guns, tanks. For 3 days they held non-stop shelling charging waves. Dwindling ammo, Reginus swore he would not surrender. When his men were dead, wounded, or out of bullets, he made a final choice, pulling the pin on his last grenade and holding his ground to the end. His stand bought time, delaying an entire German division, becoming a symbol of defiance. Small numbers, enormous resolve. History remembers the hill that wouldn't fall. Remember Captain Władysław Raginus. 3 days, one vow, against thousands. Defiance under fire.
Legend says he jumped on a tank and became a one-man army. The real story? Still heroically unbelievable and tragically complicated. Charles Commando Kelly didn't hijack a tank in the Battle of the Bulge. His Medal of Honor fight came a year earlier, September 13-14, 1943, near Altavilla, Italy. Kelly defended an ammunition dump, using bars, mortars, and anti-tank gun from a fixed position, not a tank charge. And in under an hour, his actions stopped an enemy attack, killing about 40 and capturing several. The War Department even ran tests later because his feat seemed impossible. He earned the Medal of Honor, returned home, and, like so many, struggled. Kelly battled what we now call PTSD, wrestled with alcohol, lost family and stability, and died alone in 1984. In 2024, Pittsburgh honored him with Commando Kelly Way, and a marker recognizing the toll of combat. Heroics and wounds can live side by side. Remember the valor and the cost.
Why are there not more people talking about Polish POWs hijacking a plane to escape Siberia? This sounds like a movie. It didn't end there. In 1945, a group of Polish POWs staged a desperate breakout. They jumped the guards, they grabbed a transport plane, they demanded flight out of the taiga. Mid-air, the fuel froze. Instruments iced over altitude dropped fast. They crash-landed in the frozen wilderness. They didn't stop. They walked for weeks through endless pine and snow, surviving on scraps, sheer stubbornness. They finally reached Mongolia and were arrested again. Miraculously, after negotiations, they were eventually released and made it back to Europe. A wild, cold tale of courage, bad luck, insane persistence.
How to stay alive when every move kills. December 1944, Hurtgen Forest. A U.S. platoon caught in the open machine guns raked the field. No cover, no orders. With bullets and boots around them, the survivors dropped. They went limp. They played dead. For 48 hours they lay motionless. German troops searched the field. They scavenged bodies for ammo. They stuffed shells into pockets just inches away. Nights brought the only chance, crawling inch by inch toward friendly lines, silent and terrible. When medics finally reached them, some were so dehydrated and stiff, they looked, to all appearances, dead. It's one of those impossible acts of survival. Staying still until moving means death. Freeze or die. History remembers both, the courage, the cost.
Why did one British private end up sitting on an ammo box, smoking like nothing happened? Because he'd just taken an entire trench, alone. Curious, listen up. September 1916. The Somme. Private Thomas Hughes throws a grenade into a German trench from point-blank range, and the blast throws him right in. Dazed, bleeding, surrounded and outnumbered, most would surrender. Not him. He scrambles up, grabs a fallen German rifle, and starts firing down the trench. Step by step, meter by meter, Hughes fights through 30 meters of enemy trench, clearing it single-handedly. Reinforcements arrive to find him calm as a Sunday smoker, perched on an ammo box, cigarette in hand, totally unaware he just captured the whole position. Brave? Lucky? Both. A split-second blast turned a private into a legend. I don't think people understand how a modern plane can disappear, like it was erased. This one vanished into the Sahara in 1942. British reconnaissance flight was flying over the Sahara with no distress call, no wreckage, no survivors. For 60 years it was a whisper, lost in the desert. Then, in 2002, oil workers doing routine surveys spotted something sticking out of the sand. They uncovered the aircraft, practically perfect. Radios intact, machine guns still mounted, maps spread on a table like someone left for coffee. No human remains, no signs of struggle, just a snapshot frozen in time. Scientists speculate everything from mirages to unusually fast sand burial, but the image stays bone-chilling. A crew that walked away and never returned. It's one of those mysteries that refuses neat answers and keeps pulling at your curiosity. 60 years between a goodbye and a finding. Want more unsolved wartime mysteries? Hit follow and let's dig through history's cold cases together.